Hello, welcome on in to today's show, Ether's Elephant livestream. We have a fun one for you. First, Trunk Treasures. Catholic ranks LDS content creators. That's going to be fun. Big Ear Bulletin. The Sunday school is on estrogen. What is this all about? You want to stick around for the breaking news in the Big Ear Bulletin. But first, ladies and gentlemen, the elephant in the room. Catholic versus Latter-day Saint, the showdown. Let's get into the first segment. Elephant in the room. Well, everyone, today I am joined by none other than the Catholic man himself, Blaine. Blaine, how's it going, my man? Thank you for being a part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
So you were telling me earlier that you have kind of this interesting conversion story where you found Catholicism. And then from there, you started kind of watching LDS content online. So I kind of just want to hear, so everyone understands where you're coming from, some of your story, man, because it's quite fascinating. It's crazy.
I keep telling myself I'm going to write a book about it. And I think every time I say that, I get more support. Yeah, it's really nice. But I think this March 31st, I will have been a Catholic 8 years now, which is amazing. But
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like less than 10 years ago, Christianity was not on my mind. I was very heavily entranced in the LGBTQ community, very left-leaning Democrat, I didn't have much free will of my own, if I'm being honest. I just went with what the parties told me to say. And it wasn't until I started questioning things, I think well into Trump's first year of his first term, that I became this very ardent dissident. I wasn't trustworthy. So all these different communities started kicking me out. And considering that I felt that they were my second family, that they were going to be there for me no matter what, I kind of had an existential crisis. And probably for the first time ever, I actually went to bed that night just kind of praying to God, saying, hey, we haven't talked in probably ever, but if you truly are there, please give me a sign, because I feel like I am broken. I feel like I am nothing. You know, my second family has abandoned me. And I went to bed that night, and the most I remember was it was rainy outside, and for whatever reason, this beautiful Catholic cathedral just appears in front of me, doors wide open, like heavenly light coming out of it, inviting me. And I walk in, and it's kind of like there was a lot of white. I don't know if you ever saw Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, but when
he's like dead and is meeting Dumbledore, there's that little Voldemort baby thing. It's like a train station, isn't it? And it was pure white for like ever.
Yeah,
like infinite.
Infinity white. But it was more like kind of like Notre Dame, the inside before it got burnt, except the pillars were not gray, they were white. And to the right and left of me, it is nothing but gold-laced white pillars to infinity and beyond. And I became kind of fixated on the tabernacle. And at the time, I didn't know what a tabernacle was. I didn't pay close attention. Growing up as a Nazarene Protestant, it was just kind of, oh, let's talk about doom, gloom, how people are going to hell and how we're going to ascend to heaven. So I never really paid attention. But the closer I got, the more I felt, I don't know, bad for myself. Because I kept telling myself, oh, like I'm a bad person. I did a lot of bad things, supported a lot of bad things. I shouldn't be here. This isn't for me. And as soon as I finished saying that, plain as day, Christ descends in front of the tabernacle. He gives me a hug and tells me, no, you're not broken. Through me, you are everything. And my doors are open to you, you know, whenever you're ready. And then I woke up thinking, oh no, is he asking me to be a Catholic? Oh no. So I kind of slept on that for about half a year, got in contact with my local church, and they're like, "Wow, that story is amazing." But
man.
if you're ever ready to go through the RCIA program, which is their whole spiel of it, starts in August or September, and you basically learn about the faith, you learn about the church and what they believe in, and then past a certain point, you're in it. If so, here's a few rites you need to go through, and then you'll convert and be baptized if you have not been baptized, which I had not been on Easter. So,
Wow, dude, that's
yeah.
incredible story. I love hearing, these come to Jesus stories of conversion. At the end of the day, I know some people don't like this, but we're all about Jesus as Latter-day Saints. Now, that's not the part people don't like. But what I think is important is that, anyone coming to Jesus is a win. And that's amazing. So in that sense, we're definitely all on the same team, I think. That's how I see it. So I got to show you this. So I served my mission in Chile, and there's a very strong Catholic community there. So I just want to show this is a statue of Maria, the Immaculate Conception, is what's, I guess, being depicted here, I suppose. That's what they say. And I got to see this in person. Really cool. It's this giant statue on the Andes in Chile. But then I wanted to ask you about this because, so you converted to Catholicism, and I love these pictures you sent me. They're perfect. But then somehow you also have this connection to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I know you kind of hang out with some missionaries sometimes. I know that you have, you watch certain LDS creators online, which is super fun. So I so I want to hear a little bit about that. So you joined Catholicism. You had this amazing miracle of an experience that it's hard to even put in words how awesome that is. And now you're a Catholic and you're watching LDS content online. Tell me about that, man. What got you into this weird space of the internet?
Honestly, it was like one of those, man, I have not cleaned out my spam in my Facebook at all. And it was kind of building up to a point where it was like, I couldn't go on Facebook without it like lagging a bit. I was like, okay, let's clean inboxes out. And a lot of them were very, very spamish, except for one, which I'm not sure how it got into spam, but it was what was his name? I think it was Elder Barry. He was in my town at the time.
So a missionary.
It was a missionary, yeah.
Gotcha. He sent you a message on Facebook to your spam folder?
Yeah, it got sent to spam. Don't know how, but I just opened it up. I was like, is this
I didn't know Facebook had a spam folder.
Yeah, it has a spam folder.
I haven't used Facebook in a while, man. Okay, yeah. So you open it up. Yeah.
And it was just like, it was kind of the stereotypical, like, do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that I was accustomed to with the Jehovah's Witnesses when they came to our doorstep in the 90s? And I was like, is this a Jehovah's Witness? Did they move to online circles? Oh, no, this is a Mormon. I know nothing about Mormons other than whatever I heard growing up around my Catholic brothers and sisters and my Protestant brothers and sisters, which were not nice things that they said.
Oh, man.
So I was like, you know what? I don't like listening to other people. I like making my own informed decision now, whether they like it or not.
Heck yeah, man.
So I just messaged him. I was just like, I don't know if you're still here. This is like 3 months ago, but yeah, let's totally hit up. And he called me and he's like, so I'm not there anymore, but I do know these guys. They're good at what they do. Let me set you up with them. And I ended up meeting with Elder Tyson and his missionary, who wants to remain anonymous at this point. But I met with them. I asked them all the questions. I went through the stereotypical stuff, like, like, do you really believe that you will own your own planet, or do Mormons believe this and this? And I showed them the video that everybody is
the banned cartoon.
The banned cartoon.
Oh.
And we just went through it point by point. We're like, no, don't believe that. No, don't believe that. Nope, maybe, kinda. Nope, don't believe that. Yes, we believe that, but it's not like how they're putting it out there. And I'm like, okay, wow, I'm learning so much.
Dude, that cartoon is like so funny to me, but it's also so cringy that people just will spout off talking points from that cartoon and say, you guys believe this. It's like, Okay. Anyway, keep going. So you went through point by point with these elders. So you're a Catholic. You have been a Catholic for how many years at this point? A couple
Almost
years?
8 years.
Almost 8 years. Well, at the point when you met the missionaries, how long you've been?
Almost 6 years at this point. So
Okay,
it was
so you've been a
2 years
Catholic
ago.
for like 6 years. You're kind of deeply involved there. You still don't know anything about Latter-day Saints, but then
No.
you meet some missionaries through Facebook and you start kind of chatting with them because you want to get, a real world experience. You don't want to just believe what you've heard. You want to engage with it personally. You want to have a personal experience with it, and you're talking with the missionaries, and you even go through the banned Mormon cartoon, so they're debunking some of these myths, if you will, or at least clarifying some things. So then how do you go from there to content online?
You know what? My algorithm just either listened in on our conversations and just kind of fed me stuff on YouTube and Facebook, which it still does, to be fair. I'll get ads from like, hey, we are Mormon owned and proud jewelry. Do you want to own that? And I'm like, no, but I will send this to my Mormon friends. They probably
That's
would
funny.
love this.
That's hilarious. See, we love it when non-members start interacting with our community, with our stuff. So we're like, dude, please, we want more Blaines. We want more Catholics who are just interested. You don't even have to join or anything, but being a part of it, especially online, is super fun. So we love to have you, brother.
Yeah, I'll get flack from my own Catholic brothers and sisters. Oh, you're going to talk with those Mormons? Yes, I am. Why don't you want to debate them? I'm like, one, I have no apologetics training. I have no, degree that I can flash in people's faces saying, hey, I have philosophy, theology. I'm a doctor, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just your average Joe Schmo Catholic who understood that Christ wined and dined with all sinners. And I feel like we should be doing that without attacking them verbally, mentally, philosophically, what have you.
See, this is why I wanted to bring you on, man, because this channel is all about building bridges of understanding. And if I can find, individuals like yourself that just want to embrace what we have in common about our beliefs and learn from each other, it's a great, that's always going to be something that I'm like, yes, let's do it. All right. So are we ready to get into the tier ranked, the ranking of LDS content creation?
God, Lord help me. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. This is going to be part of our hidden gems, our trunk treasures, because this is the treasures of different YouTube channels across the internet. So let's get into it. Here we go. Trunk treasures. And before we get into it, I have to shout out the purpose of the channel, which is to elevate members of the church by building bridges of understanding through fun and informative content. Hopefully that's what this is today, fun and informative. And second, to help honest actors to take the church seriously by exposing limitations of critics and correcting misconceptions. With that, thank you to the members of the channel. We have Pachyderm members, Professor Chimp and Goromius Gorodian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but thank you both for being Pachyderm members and contributing to this mission. And of course, we have the Mammoth members, Curious Madcap, which is you, Blaine, right?
It is me. It is I.
Kiori. Yeah, in the flesh, man. Curious Madcap. Kiori, awesome guy. Thorgus951, Brooke Sabin, and Taylor Brandt 17. Thank you, Mammoth members, for being part of this. If you don't want to be part of the membership of the channel, you can always just hit that subscribe button, and that also helps with everything. So now, to the tier list. I first need to explain a few things away, okay? The thumbnail is just the thumbnail, right? Because here's the thing. I have no idea where Blaine is going to rank the different channels. So I knew that he watches a few channels. I knew that he enjoys a few Latter-day Saint content creators. And I thought, you know what? What if we just have this outsider, if you will, this Catholic, rank the different channels according to a tier list. And I was trying to pick a good list because on the one hand, I don't want to give him like 100 channels and give him a bunch of homework, because I knew that some of these channels he's going to have to research and look up, which he did. He looked into every single one of these channels. So he did a lot of homework. So everyone give a thumbs up or something for Blaine, the Catholic, who was like, I don't know what this channel is, but I'm going to research it for Ether's Elephant so that we can create a tier list. Okay. So there's a few channels that he didn't know about that he looked into and did that for us. So thank you, Blaine, for that. There's a few channels he was already watching. Anyway, I couldn't include every channel. All right. So my criteria for inclusion, and I wish I could include everyone, but I just can't. My criteria was, I was trying to aim for just the top 15, but I ended up going a little bit over that. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, I did individual channels only. Okay. So there's certain channels that are commercial channels that are like paid or funded heavily and part of like a bigger system. So for example, Keystone or Saints Unscripted, I didn't include only because they're more commercial. They're not individual creators. Okay. Number three, we stuck to YouTube. So we're only doing YouTube creators. And number four, I don't know what my number four was, but basically from there, I tried to take just like the top 15 or so from subscriber count. Okay. I tried to be exhaustive. So I guess I'm trying to just apologize if you're a content creator and you didn't show up. I don't want you to feel bad. Keep making content. Okay. So that's number one. And then, sorry, Blaine, I got to set the stage because I just want to make sure people understand. Second thing is, if Blaine puts you in a lower tier, first off, I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea. I might be in a lower tier. I don't want you to feel bad either. You know, Blaine is just one guy. You might be speaking to a different audience that is not the Blaine Catholic audience, and that's totally fine. Keep making content. We love it. We love you. Okay. I don't want anyone to feel bad about this at all. This is just for fun. One guy's opinion. There's going to be other people that love you and have you in S tier. So we can't all please everyone. Okay. Have I covered my bases? Is that enough to get into the actual ranking here? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, man. I hope I covered it enough, because I don't know. I'm like kind of like Anakin. If any of you Star Wars nerds out there, you know, Anakin in the third movie when Palpatine is shocking Mace Windu and Anakin comes in and is like, no, and chops off his arm. And then Palpatine like kills him. And Anakin after that's like, what have I done? What have I done? I kind of am thinking that right now. I'm like, what have I done? Like, what am I setting myself up for? Like, Blaine's just going to roast me and everyone else that like, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. There's a few channels I combined into two. So Stick of Joseph and Latter Daily Saints, because they're the same creators, are the same. Same with Informed Saints and Jasmine Rapley, same group of people. So those are like one in the same. So, all right, man. I'm a little nervous. Not going to lie.
You're not the one that's going to get hounded if I do them dirty.
Oh, you're good, man. We love our Catholic brothers and sisters. So I didn't pick the order here. This is just the order that it popped up on. So let's just start from the top. Oh man, I'm last. Oh gosh. Okay. Women and priesthood. So Blaine is gonna tell us where they rank, and he's gonna tell us kind of why he put them in that tier. And this is from his Catholic perspective. He is not a Latter-day Saint. If you're just joining us, he's not a Latter-day Saint. He just enjoys some Latter-day Saint content, enjoys Latter-day Saints as people, and we're gonna see what he thinks about the different channels. So, women in priesthood. Where do you rank women in priesthood? Which tier?
I put them in C, mostly because it does feel like it is a female majority oriented channel,
and you're not female. Okay.
I am not female. I just sat there and I was like, yep. Women should be in this part of the church, because I try to use the Catholic Church as a standard, because I mean we don't have women priests. I know a lot of people say we do, but we don't.
No, I mean, it makes sense that you would use a Catholic standard. You're a Catholic, right? You're seeing which channels you enjoy as a Catholic perspective, so that's fair.
So I agree with them
I got to say something though. She's
Sure.
not saying that women should have the priesthood or anything. She's very much in support of just men. I don't know if that was clear, but I wanted to clarify that in
Yeah,
case.
she was very succinct, like, oh yes, women should, be in this part of the church guiding these people. And I was like, yeah, for the same standard we have for the women in the Catholic Church. They can teach and do a lot of things that men cannot do, and I agree with that.
Excellent. All right. So C tier, man. That's kind of low, but all right. We love Rachel from
If I was
Women
a
in
woman,
Priesthood.
it would be B tier or A tier.
Okay, that's fair. That's your perspective. Let's do it. Okay, next one is Truth Restored.
Truth Restored.
Looks like.
What did let's see. Truth.
He's got an official list here, people.
I do. I had to write it down.
He did lots of
otherwise-
homework. So again, we got to applaud him for the homework he did in doing some of this, because not all these channels he was familiar with. So it sounds like you didn't know about Truth Restored.
I did not. I think you had
Okay.
him on your channel at one point.
I have
Or am
not.
I thinking-
I should, though.
You have not. I'm thinking of something else then. I did put C just because I put high C because it was very relatable. I felt that.
Oh, it's
he
Restored
got-
Truth. Sorry about that. Restored Truth,
Yeah,
not
you're
Truth
good.
Restored.
Restored
Chuck
Truth.
from, yeah.
I
His
put
name's
C
Chuck.
plus. So
Okay, C plus. Fair enough. All right, and it's just because it was relatable, but what was your reason again?
I felt. I mean, I feel like he could upload a little bit more, but that's just me.
Okay, he just doesn't upload enough. You like what he's doing, but it just, there's just not enough there. All right, Doctrine and Governance. This is Luke Hansen, friend of the
Yes.
channel. He's been on a few times. He kind of gets into politics a little bit, and kind of the church works with politics. So what are your thoughts
I went with
on
B.
that? A B tier, our first B tier. Are you familiar with Luke Hansen?
Yes, I don't know if
He's on
related
Word
to
Radio
Jacob.
quite a bit.
He is. I thought he was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Okay, so why'd you put him in B tier? You like this one a little bit more than the other two. How come? As a Catholic,
More relatable. He's able to put his points out succinctly as well, but it's without being offending who he's critiquing. Like I think it was him that he did a 1 hour video on Mormons kind of going after the Daily Wire when they decided to go after Mormons. And I was like, well, I kind of quit being a Daily Wire fan long before that, but I want to see what the Mormons have to say about that. And I was like, okay, yeah, they are very much going into like, hey, let's attack them because they're theologically different. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a good way to lose money.
Okay. All right, this next one, it used to be Through the Mist, and then I believe he kind of handed that channel off to LD Scooby, Latter-day Scooby, which is a fun name. Great image there. Yeah, where'd you put Latter-day Scooby? If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that used to be Through the Mist. So
I believe so. Because they changed hands so quickly, I had to put them in C.
Okay.
Just because I didn't know the previous person before that. But very relatable, very funny. I don't really have any problems with them because they're kind of transitioning. I decided to put them in C, but they could very much be B tier in the future.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Next one's an interesting one. So this one was mostly podcast, and they just kind of started on YouTube. This is Jim Bennett and Ian Wilkes, the Inside Out podcast / now YouTube channel. So where are you putting them?
They are the only D tier just because
Oh,
they've only got one video. It was a very nice video, but I want to see them make more videos and talk more to other people inside and outside the church. But
so Ian was a former member of the church, so they try and hit on this, like Jim's inside the church, Ian's outside the church, and they're kind of talking to Latter-day Saints and ex-Latter-day Saints, so that's kind of like their audience. So I guess I can kind of see why a Catholic might not be as interested in that. But yeah, any more thoughts on that?
That actually makes the first video it makes much more sense now. I think they could be like B to A tier if they continue to hold that standard and just like get people inside and outside the church. But because there was very little to work with, I had to put them in D.
Okay. Yeah, and I can imagine, I don't know, if I was a Catholic, I'd probably not be so interested because they very much speak in the niche and not to outsiders. They're very much like Mormon, ex-Mormon. I don't know, but that's my opinion. All right, next one. This one's a fun one. Saints and Screens. I'm curious where you're going to put them. I'm a big fan of their channel. Everyone, you should go check them out.
You were on a couple episodes.
I was, yeah, and we have more in the future. So, but I don't want to bias you. Actually, you already wrote it down, so I can't bias you because you already have it on paper. But I love Saints and Screens. Kyle, he was formerly Rock and Roll Fireside, so he did a rebrand, which has kind of hurt some of his recent growth on YouTube because YouTube kind of freaks out when you completely rebrand. But some good stuff over there. He's a musician, but I don't know, I think he's a great host. So anyway, what do you think? Saints and Screens, man.
At first I put like C tier ? But now that I think about it, after watching the David Archuleta stream, I'm going to put him in like high B tier.
Ooh. I hope I didn't bias you too much.
No, I paid attention on him and his thoughts and his views. And it was that stream specifically, it's like, oh, wow. Because that's kind of how we see people who leave the Catholic Church. They've got their own little niches and reasons. And a lot of us are like, how dare you leave? But you got people like me, they're like, you know what? I totally understand. I left the church for a time. It was very short, but I'm just not treat people differently just because they're not part of the cool kids, so to speak.
Yeah, everyone should go check that out. We had a fun conversation. Me, Marvelous Wonder Podcast, Saints and Screens, all kind of talked about the David Archuleta book and all that. It was a fun conversation. So if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. Someone's asking, let me reset here a little bit. We have our Catholic friend who's ranking LDS content creators from YouTube. We're not including channels like Keystone, channels that do Come Follow Me, or channels like Saints Unscripted. Come Follow Me because it's not really relevant to people outside the church. And Keystone, Saints Unscripted, and others that are in that vein are commercial channels, is how I like to say it. They're like paid, organized. They're not individual creators. So that's why I left them out. Though, we can give a shout out to Keystone here at the end. But let's move on to Marvelous Wonder Podcast. Marvelous Wonder. Preston from Marvelous Wonder. What would you think about that channel?
I put it in B tier. He's funny. I love him.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We have a lot in common. I like Preston, and that's good stuff. All right. Okay, so you thought he was funny. Anything else you want to say about Marvelous Wonder?
I can't, I'm subscribed to him, so he's part of my daily regimen with LDS content, so
heck yeah.
I'd like.
All right, he needs to make more content. He's been taking a break for a while, so
yeah.
Let's go, Preston.
I can't wait for his return. But.
Yeah. All right. Next is Rise Zion. They're one of the higher subscriber count YouTube channels in the LDS content creator space. Where do you rank Rise Zion?
He is in A tier.
A tier. Interesting. So the Catholic puts Rise Zion in A tier. Why is that?
He definitely gives off this wake up in the early mornings, like put on the podcast. It's very nice. It's not in your face. It's like, hello, welcome to Rise Zion. And then I could just get through the daily motions of prepping and showering and making my breakfast and having that all in my ear and going, yep, yeah, this is nice.
So you knew Rise Zion before. This is one of the ones you just listened to already before I told you to kind of look into any of these channels. Is that correct?
He's actually new. So I am now I'm a new subscriber.
Oh, dang. Okay, sweet. All right. That's our first A tier, Rise Zion. All right. Next is my cousin. We're actually kind of distantly related. No, that's okay. Anticipating Christ's return. Now, this one, I'm curious to see what you're going to say, because this one's also very much talking to Latter-day Saints, but it's not like these Come Follow Me channels. So I wonder how you relate to this one. What do you think?
Anticipating Christ's return. I put her in C tier, mostly because a lot of the stuff she talks about, I feel like as a non Latter-day Saint, kind of go over my head
Fair
a little
enough.
bit.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, and like nothing wrong with that. I can see why, that might not speak to you as a Catholic as much. So again, everyone who's like a content creator that's watching this, just keep that in mind. You might not be speaking to a Catholic audience, and that's why he's putting you lower. So it's fine. Okay, Latter-day Lion. I saw him in the chat. So I'm crossing my fingers for you, Monty, Latter-day Lion. Yeah, just give it to us raw, man. Your honest Catholic perspective from Latter-day Lion.
I was going to put him in high B tier, and I put question mark. Now that I think about it, I've watched a little bit more of his content. I think he's like lower end A tier.
Ooh. Lower end A tier. So you were thinking kind of high B tier, and now in the moment, because he's watching, you couldn't get over the bias. You're like, I'm just gonna. He's watching, and he's a lion. He might rip my head off. I gotta put him higher. No, that's fine. That's great.
Normally,
okay.
I don't subscribe to like debates. I'm normally like a debate-free person, but it is interesting that he has a lot of Muslims and Protestants on to debate LDS, and I feel like a lot of the titles are very gotcha, but it catches me enough to see him interact just very calmly, very professionally. And I'll be honest, the first time I saw his face, the voice that I was thinking of did not match the voice that came out. I was thinking of a very big, big boomy lion, and just having this one hi, like, hi, Latter-day Lion. Hey, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming to the debate. I'm like, oh wow, okay, cool.
Well, he's a Latter-day Lion. He's not like ferocious lion. He's Latter-day Saint lion. So that's funny, man. That's funny. All right. So you like that he kind of talks to a lot of people. You like that he seems to be kind to his guests. Okay. Yeah. Any more thoughts on Latter-day Lion?
Can't wait to see your next episode. And honestly, if I feel like just putting out an energy drink and relaxing and see the chaos fly, I'll be there.
All right. Next one is the Holy Rebellion. What are your thoughts on the Holy Rebellion?
I may need some help remembering who they are. I did put them at high C.
Okay.
But right there.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Any thoughts on the Holy Rebellion? They just weren't memorable, I guess.
Well, it's interesting to have them be more like, hey, I'm meeting with a group of people and I'm presenting something. So I thought that was interesting. I know some Catholic channels, they do that, but they're very few, far between. And personally, I like them. I like when you have a graph, a chart, a bulletin board, and you're like, hey, this is what we believe. This is what other people believe. And if you disagree with me, like, write in the comments. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's refreshing. I love that.
Awesome. All right. The next one is the Salty Saints. Salty Saints. Hayden is a salty saint. So where'd you put Salty Saints?
I put Salty Saints in A tier.
A tier. Okay. Another A tier. Look at that. Yes. What do you like about Salty Saints?
They are so freaking funny, and they are not ashamed to be goobers.
Yeah.
They
are funny. See, so it's interesting though. They do talk a lot about like elders quorum and some very niche Latter-day Saint topics. So I'm a little surprised as a Catholic that you would care about some of these more niche conversations, because they're speaking very much to the membership, but you think they're so funny, you still put them in A tier.
See, and I'm a different breed of Catholic. I still keep my Protestant curiosity, like, okay, let's see what makes them tick. Why do they believe this, this, and this? And let's keep it respectful. And the fact that they just laugh and tell puns and sarcastic jokes through all of it gets me more focused on what they're saying. And they basically dumb it down for someone like me.
Interesting. Okay. Next is All Those in Favor. All Those in Favor. They're a podcast over there. two guys.
And I told them that I would be ranking them. I don't know if they're in the chat right now, but they said they would definitely watch this video.
All right, dude. Well, pressure's on. They're going to watch where you rank them.
Yeah, I put A or S, and I think in the moment right now, given their recent videos, I'm going to put them in low S tier.
S tier. We got our first S tier. Yeah, all those in favor, congratulations. The Catholic thinks you're S tier. The Catholic. Okay, yeah. What do you like about all those in favor?
They were probably the most welcoming to outside Catholic perspectives.
Nice.
I remember when they were talking on the Joe Heschmeyer, like, are atheists, and I'm like, wait a minute, Joe, I work. Are you sure, Joe?
Yeah.
And I just I watched their videos and Latter Daily Saint, and I was like, Catholic here. I'm gonna need like a day or two to decipher what he's talking about, but like, I don't know. From a Joe Schmo Catholic perspective, it just seems like he's kind of reaching.
Yeah,
and
they're
funny. Like, oh my gosh, really? We have a Catholic in the chat that's like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I'm like, oh, thank you.
In the spirit of trying to build bridges, independent of Joe Heschmeyer's statement about atheism, I'd actually planned and written out episodes for what we have in common with atheists and what is challenging for atheists. And because, I'm trying to build bridges of understanding. And so it's funny. So I released just this last Sunday, I believe, 3 things that atheists and Latter-day Saints have in common, which obviously, we believe in God, and a lot of them do not. In the very least, they don't believe there's sufficient evidence to believe in God, right?
Yeah.
Or else they wouldn't be called atheist in any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I wanted to build that bridge because I think Latter-day Saints, we do have some differences from creedal Christianity, as it were, or mainstream Christianity. And some of those differences actually do somewhat align with atheistic points of view. And so we have this relationship where obviously we believe in Jesus Christ, we believe in God, and those two things make us more in line with Christianity. But the parts where we differ, there's some similarity with some lines of thought in atheism. And one of the top comments on there was, this video is sponsored by Joe Heschmeyer, because I was like, 3 things we have in common with atheism.
That was pretty nice.
But it was completely independent of that. It's funny how that works out sometimes, but I just want to throw that out there. We love our atheist brothers and sisters as well. We're trying to build bridges. We do have some similarity. That's the thing that's nice, I suppose, about being a Latter-day Saint that I like, is I have some similarities, with our Catholic brothers and sisters, with Protestant brothers and sisters, and with atheist brothers and sisters. I want to highlight those and also, make the distinction as well. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that you felt so welcomed into the all those in favor. It sounds like you were in the chat. But let's move on to the next one. Jasmine Rapley / Informed Saint. So there's kind of 2 different channels here. They're both created by the same group. So Jasmine's kind of like the face of Jasmine Rapley, but she's also the face of Informed Saints that she created with her husband as well. So I'm curious, where do you rank Jasmine Rapley in her YouTube channel?
I put her, because I've been a part of her channel for quite a while.
Oh, have you? See, she used to be part of Scripture Central, and if she were still part of Scripture Central, I wouldn't have put her on this list because that counts as, being a commercial creator instead of an individual creator. But she's since separated from them, so now she's got her own YouTube channel and she's been growing really well. So, yeah, let's hear it, man. Where does she rank?
I put her in B tier.
B tier, okay. Seems reasonable. B tier. Okay. Any more thoughts? Like, why did you put her in B tier?
She'll just like her shorts in particular.
She's great at shorts, man. Man. Her shorts are awesome.
Her first short was with her old channel, but she was talking about like how Christmas is this very big thing in the LDS church, and if you're lucky to be invited to the Christmas events, it'll be like something you've never seen before. And I'm like, okay, I will ask my LDS friends if they're doing that this year, which I don't think they did. But regardless, I've been watching her perspective on everything LDS, and I like how she isn't afraid to tackle the uncomfortable questions when it comes to Latter-day Saints. So,
okay. Next, we have Quick Media, Greg Matson, Quick Media. Had you heard of Quick Media prior to this assignment, if you will?
It was suggested to me, but I never clicked on it until you showed me.
Okay, so this is kind of a new one that you had to evaluate. So I'm curious
It
where you put
was.
Quick Media.
I put low C tier just because I feel like he allows his guests to just speak while he sits in the background and just says, yeah, which I love it. I love it when guests ramble on about their perspective. But for me personally, that ain't my cup of tea. I usually like more interactions between the host and the guest. But it wasn't bad at all. It just not my cup of tea.
Just not as interested from what you want out of a channel. This next one is going to be interesting. Ward Radio, one of the bigger channels. I know we have Jonah Barnes from Ward Radio in the chat. Where do you rank Ward Radio? Which, don't let that pressure where you're going to put them. I mean, you already wrote it down, so you got to commit to what you wrote down, man.
I did. I put A plus.
Okay.
I'm going to put them, right there above Zion, just because I think they are the second most relatable as far as discussing with members of the church and people like me who are obviously outside.
So they're friendly.
They're very friendly. The I forget his name. I'm good
Cardin?
with faces. I'm terrible with names. The soundboard guy.
Yeah, Cardin Ellis.
Yeah, he has so much fun with his job. I can tell.
So the fun, yeah. I mean, that's why I think a lot of people like Word Radio. They have fun over there. So a Catholic loves to see the fun. And we've seen that come up a few times, the Salty Saints, Word Radio. So that's something that's setting some of these channels apart. So that's very good. All right, next we have Let's Talk with Hayden Carroll, a newer channel that's been doing really well, kind of blown up, does a lot of debate style. I originally called him the Latter-day Saint Charlie Kirk, and I think a few other people started using that talking point. But
he does get that vibe.
Yeah, he kind of does, right? Yeah, not to say that like they believe all the same things, but he kind of does that, microphone face to face, let's have a conversation, let's go to a college campus thing that Charlie Kirk used to do. So what are your thoughts on Let's Talk with Hayden Carroll? Just let's hear it.
Because he's so Charlie Kirk inspired, I put him in middle of A tier. I would love to see more from this guy. But from what little I have seen, he just kind of blows it out of the water. He doesn't go in thinking, okay, I'm just going to attack my opponent. We're just going to hammer down on my points. And then we're just going to be like, oh, I won. Let's go. He's just like very professional.
All right. Yeah, very professional. And you appreciate about him. He also talks to a lot of people. Sounds like you like that as well. The next one, this is 2 channels in one. We have the Stick of Joseph / Latter Daily Saints. So they're both the same Paul brothers that make the content. So I combine them into one just, to make it a little bit easier. So where do you rank Stick of Joseph / Latter Daily Saints as a Catholic, Blaine?
I put them in S tier above.
S tier?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, another S tier. Clap, clap, clap for the Stick of Joseph / Latter Daily. Which do you like better, Stick of Joseph or Latter Daily Saints?
Latter Daily Saints.
Okay, it's new, and they change things up, have this new format. It's kind of like a daily show, hence Latter Daily Saints. And you put them in S tier. So what do you like about Latter Daily Saints and Stick of Joseph?
They are slowly becoming my titular go-to news channel from obviously an LDS source, but there are points where they're like, okay, let's talk about this from an unbiased perspective. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool. And it is interesting to see how throughout all of these channels they incorporate scripture from the Book of Mormon, which is interesting. I don't see much of that. Usually other LDS content creators, they'll just grab from the Bible, and once in a blue moon they'll pull from like the Book of Alma or the book of Lehi, Nephi. And I'm like, okay.
So that's interesting. So you like that they're using the Book of Mormon scriptures, even though that's not part of the canon, the Catholic canon. You like that they're using unique Latter-day Saint scriptures.
Because they speak as nonchalantly and as eloquently as any Christian does when they incorporate the Bible into their podcasts. So
okay, and you like to see that. I love to hear that, man. I love that you like the uniqueness of Latter-day Saint belief in Scripture. You're like, dude, like pull out your Book of Mormon. That's what you guys believe in. That's fascinating. So thanks for sharing that, man. Okay, next one. Thoughtful Faith. Jacob Hansen, Thoughtful Faith.
Oh, man.
Where do you put Jacob Hansen and the Thoughtful Faith YouTube channel?
I feel like this is one where I'm going to hear from it more from my Catholic brothers and sisters than I will Latter-day Saints.
Really?
Because I know my Catholic brothers and sisters are like, whenever Jacob Hansen is doing a debate with either a Catholic or a non-Catholic, it'll be all over Instagram. We need to get in the comments. We need to see what he's like. And I'm like, no, not my cup of tea. But it is interesting to see. What did I put? Thoughtful Faith. Thoughtful Faith. I put him in B tier.
Okay. B tier, like right there?
Yeah. Right there, just because some videos will absolutely resonate with me. Others, I'll just like, he loses me completely.
How come? What does he lose you on? Just like his demeanor, the way he talks, the debate style?
Very sassy. He's a very sassy Latter-day Saint. I will say that.
He's sassy?
He's sassy when it comes to certain talking points.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Sassy is just a funny word. I don't know if I would use the word sassy, but I think I get what you're saying.
Spicy, we'll say that.
Spicy. Okay, that's probably a better way to describe it.
I see his Twitter posts, and I'm just like, wow, the dude is very passionate on this. But I'm going to stay 10 feet away from this. Passionate. I don't want to get in his way. So he has that. He has that Trump intimidation factor about him in a lot of the debates. Interesting.
See, that's the thing that I'm glad we're talking to you about this as a Catholic, someone who's outside the church. You know, sometimes we think that everyone's going to resonate with a certain style, and some people just don't resonate with that style. So, like, there's a lot of people who love the Jacob Hansen style, the debate me bro type of attitude. And there's other people, it sounds like you're one of these people who just, you know, would prefer something that's a little bit more friendly, a little bit more open to conversation, I suppose. And, you know, that's fine. That's why I think it's great that we have a variety of channels so that anyone who's interested can kind of pick what they like, what fits their personality, and enjoy the content. So, yeah, and there's plenty of people who enjoy Thoughtful Faith, so there's no problem. Yeah, you put them in B tier. That's just not your cup of tea, you know. As your style of Catholicism is not your cup of tea.
It's for the same reason I'll put like maybe Trent Horn or Joe Heschmeyer in the same range, just because.
Oh, really?
They love
even though they're Catholics, you put them in the same Catholics. Range. They're just a little more debatey.
I will give Trent Horn props that he made a video not too terribly long ago that he's just like, I'm backing away from the whole debate me bro thing. It just kind of darkens the soul a little bit. Yeah. I feel like we need a more friendly approach. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. See, I appreciate channels like Jacob Hansen because I think they're needed. And I'm kind of glad that he is able to take that on. I think it's kind of a difficult role that he plays. So I like Jacob Hansen stuff. I feel like, you know, I couldn't do what he does. So I appreciate it. But let's go on to the next one. This is Christian Homestead, I believe is the channel.
Yes. He was one of the first that the algorithm just kind of threw in my face, like after talking with the missionaries. And I still am in my like dream of having a homestead with my family and raising animals and doing, you know, the stereotypical Midwestern farmer family type deal. So when it was presented to me, I was like, oh, cool, another homesteading channel. When I clicked on it, I was just like, oh, he's LDS. Oh, this is less about homesteading and more about, let's talk about this part of and this part. Let's talk about the incoming, you know, end of days. And here's my bullet, you know, my PowerPoint. And, here's all of that. And I'm like, wow, this guy is absolutely on top of his A game, which I did put him on the lower end of A tier.
The lower end of A tier. All right. Oh, shoot. That's great. No, I like that explanation. Now I'm like really nervous because I'm the last one on here and I don't know where you're going to put me, man. Just give it to me straight. Just hit it with me.
I put you in S tier.
Yes. Heck
you were the first that popped up in my algorithm. And
No way.
I believe it was like to the new year of that time. I had just met with the missionaries. They had told me to go online, and because I've already did some LDS stuff online, it recommended you, and I do believe it was the quiz that you put up, and you had Jacob Hansen go through.
Jacob Hansen took the quiz, yeah.
And I took the quiz, and I was kind of surprised I came out like Orthodox. Like I was like in the Orthodox range, but I was more towards the center, which I agreed with.
Oh, that's fun. As a Catholic, that's where you ended up. Okay. See, I thought, okay, it's probably going to be decent for me because you're coming in biased. You're seeing me face to face. You're a member of my channel. So I figured I got to be pretty good. I was hoping for S tier. So thank you, brother.
I was worried that people are going to be like, oh, he paid him to put him in S tier. And I'm like, nah.
Nah. I was going to be a little sad if I was anything below S tier. So I'm glad I made it. Because just given that you are a member of the channel, it's like you're a member of the channel. You're like literally on my channel and you can't put me in S tier. I was going to fight you. I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate that. That's really awesome. All right. So this is the final numbers here, if you will. And everyone, let me know what you think. Like we want to know, like, where did our Catholic brother Blaine go wrong? Where did he go right? Again, we're excluding some of the channels that are more, I call them commercial channels that aren't individual creators, like Keystone or Saints Unscripted, that are part of a, the More Good Foundation, I believe, is what funds those channels, and like it's their jobs and whatnot. So that's why I left them out. These are more independent creators, as far as I can tell. My question to you, Blaine, you wanted to shout out Keystone at one point because you do like Keystone and David Snell. So even though I didn't put them on the tier list because of that rule, so I had to filter out some. But anyway, what were you wanted to shout out Keystone? So let's hear your shout out. I wanted to
shout out David Snell just because, as big as he is, I truly am surprised that he took the time to message me back on Facebook with any questions I did have. And I told him I thought he was going to be on the list. I'm sorry, David. I thought you'd be on the list. Obviously, he went in a different direction, but I still wanted to shout you out and shout out all of the missionaries in Kansas that I have had the pleasure of working with. You guys have been the rock of knowledge.
Heck yeah, I love the shout outs. All right, man. Let's get into the last segment, which is reacting to the breaking news of the day, of the week. This is the Big Ear Bulletin. The Big Ear Bulletin.
Run.
All right, Blaine, Catholic, we got to have your reaction to this. This is going to be interesting because this is very much in the niche of Latter-day Saint world. But almost quietly, you had this announcement come out. I said Sunday school on estrogen. What the announcement is according to the Salt Lake Tribune here, Peggy Fletcher Stack, in stride toward greater gender equity. That's how they put it. LDS Church opens up a post previously held only by men. And that post is the Sunday school president. So the Sunday school president, Blaine, can now be a calling given to a female in a ward. Before I explain more about that, I just want to get your raw reaction. Like, what do you even think about that, man?
As a former Protestant who's had Sunday schools just like absolutely owned by females, and in the Catholic Church where we have a lot of Bible studies and just libraries and all that jazz being run by women. I don't disagree with this at all.
Interesting. So the Sunday school presidency, it's a local congregation calling. And by the way, they mention here that there is like a general Sunday school president and presidency, and those are going to remain men. So the general authority part's going to remain men. But at the local level, it's not a priesthood function. And so that's kind of why I think a lot of people have thought this is going to happen at some point. The writing was on the wall that this is going to happen at some point. At least people I've talked to seem to think that, or at least I thought that. So the Sunday school president in the ward calls counselors, and it's they are in charge of Sunday school. Obviously, they don't teach it, though they can fill in. They fill in for teachers that are missing, but they usually recommend names to be assigned for teachers for Sunday school. So they kind of like organize the whole Sunday school system. So they help make sure there's teachers where they need to be. They help organize substitutes. They make sure everyone's taken the training. So there's this training. If you're going to be teaching youth or anyone that's, young, you have to take this training to make sure that, we're treating everyone with respect. We want to avoid any possibility of abuse, for example. And so there's some pretty strict training that's involved there. I teach Sunday school for the youth. And so I had to go through that training, for example. And the Sunday school president right now, my partner, so every time Sunday school is always taught with a partner. And so there's all sorts of Sunday school classes. And we do it by age group, and then the adults kind of meet together. And obviously the primary is doing their thing. So right now I teach 7th to 9th graders, and it's really fun. But I no longer have a partner. So the Sunday school president has worked with me to find a substitute every time, because I can't just be in there alone. So that's one of the functions of a Sunday school president. And the Sunday school president has even sat in to be there with me, because you don't want to be alone with youth. So that's one function. So yeah, this isn't super shocking, I think, to Latter-day Saints that we could have this as a possibility. And yeah, that's kind of, any more thoughts on this, Blaine?
I honestly have no problems with this. I know the way it's worded. It kind of, when I first heard this, I think it was from Women in Priesthood that they talked about. I was just like, so you guys are having women priests? It's kind of worded in a way that a lot of media kind of gives on.
Yeah, they're trying to make it this woke thing, like the feminist thing.
It's like every other month we're like, oh, we're going to have female deacons and we're going to have female priests. And it's like, no, that's not what the Pope said, but okay.
Yep. Interesting. Yeah. From your Catholic perspective. So yeah, just so you know, there's a lot of other callings that women have where they are presidents and have counselors. For example, the primary president is always a woman that has female counselors. The young women's president is do they even call it the young women's president anymore? I can't remember if that changed officially or not, because we had young men's, but that's been taken over by the bishopric, young men's presidency. Anyway, you have a young women's presidency with counselors. The Sunday school presidency is just like another one of those functions that, could be male or female. I'm guessing, I haven't verified this, but if you're a female Sunday school president, I'm guessing they're only going to want you to have female counselors. And if you're male, they're only going to want you to have male counselors. I almost guarantee that's how it works. But I should double check that. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I would almost guarantee that'd be weird to me if it was like a mix, like a female Sunday school president and then like a male first counselor. Seems inappropriate to me. So I almost guarantee that's the case. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it really doesn't change much, to be honest, but a big change nonetheless that was quietly released. And yeah, you're pointing out kind of the language here. This is from the Salt Lake Tribune. He likes to be, they're left-leaning, is one way to say it. And so they love the in-stride toward greater gender equity, which is, yeah. But this is very far away from, making female deacons, for example. So, all right, man. Blaine, Curious Madcap, Catholic brother, thank you for being here, for building bridges of understanding. You're on Twitter. If people want to hear more from you, where could they find you if they want to interact?
My name on Twitter, I totally forgot my username, but it's like Bud Moses Dieter. On X, I post a lot of Christian stuff, and I post a lot of my gardening habits, because that's just something I love to do in the name of the Lord.
Heck yeah, man. We're glad that you found Christ. We're glad it's a great thing that you joined the Catholic Church and you went from this secular lifestyle into a very religious one. And we're happy that you can find entertainment, peace, happiness in enjoying Latter-day Saint content online. So we love having you. All right, this is Ether's Elephant. That is Curious Mad Cat. We will catch you in the next one. Thank you for being here.